Lucky for making our time.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it?
Quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we're talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues
Amin
raised.
Potakat says the PDP is trying to divert our attention because Nigerian funds was looted by the PDP. Melody in Uniport says Madam Jonah is... Quest. We're moving on to the opinion poll segment. NIMC enrolling 900 repentant Boko Haram members. National Identity Management Commission has said it has enrolled 900 repentant Boko Haram members. The engineer Aliu Aziz disclosed this in a statement issued by the head of corporate communications, Mr. Kayode Adegoke, yesterday in Abuja. He noted that the commission works in partnership with the defense headquarters to provide reliable and secure data of repentant and reintegrated members of Boko Haram through the Operation Safe Corridor of all repentant Boko Haram combatants. Recently by the coordinator, Defense Media Opeleli, the Operation Safe Corridor that is tasked with the de-radicalization, rehabilitation and reintegration process of ex-Boko Haram combatants, he said. He further said that no repentant Boko Haram who has been reintegrated into the society would evade arrest. The DG CEO NIMC engineer needed, adding that the commission has the capacity to support challenges through its functional and world-class. I'm thinking that when they said enrolled,
it was employment.
It's not employment. Enrolled here now will mean that they have been captured in their database, identify them. And for them, this is because it's important that they're able to keep a track on them, and it's relevant if we want radicalization and reintegration of members of Boko Haram into the caption. I was worried that this meant that they had been enrolled into the services that the NIMC provided. And I was thinking, with such a very sensitive office, as it were, I mean, why would you want to put some people who had at some point fought against the Nigerian state? But
that was just my understanding, because it's just like captain, and they claim with all the strong, whether they are de-radicalized or not, the fact remains that nobody sees the heart of another man. But at least that's such a claim now. But all I know is that keeping tabs on them through this NIMC is maybe to know whenever anybody is, if you do anything, you can't have a cover. They will pick you immediately, all such things. So for me, I think it's a welcome program.
All right, let me get Honorable Jerome Okeri's thoughts here.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with government should find a way to engage them into skill acquisition. A graduate holder, which was entirely wrong.
I know.
I'm telling you.
65,000 every
Yes,
month.
that's the minimum. The 500 naira when you're passing on the road, okay, then any higher than that. Now, I was happy when government asked them to open account.
Moving towards the other side. That is the way you bring light with the system. All you are doing is we continue to create systems that will continue to have database for criminals, and you will continue to update more and more, because you are the one generating that thought in the minds of the people through your policies and actions. The other time I asked a question, when will government stop encouraging criminalities from the local? When I say government, I mean federal, state and local government. I didn't limit it to militants, including the Boko Haram. The other time, the government, I think at the National Assembly, we had an issue where they were trying to pass a bill that we try to take Boko Haram members or repented or whatever to abroad for scholarship and all that. When you do that, people will want to So by the time I pick up, I'm against the state. I will get a scholarship to go to abroad, right? Others will join too for them to go to abroad. So when you continually pay people 65,000 naira monthly, and there are graduates who sponsor themselves through school, people who labor to be graduate, who are patriotic, who are obedient to the laws of the land, who are trying to contribute to economic development of the country, state and local government, and you don't give them recognition, you don't have them in your plans, you don't give them 10,000 naira, not even 5,000 naira. Very annoyingly, the other time I said they are going to pay some people 5,000, and militants are receiving 65,000 naira monthly. That means you are asking them to sit back at home, but at the end of the month you collect 65,000. Why won't I think of how I will go out there and break the pipelines that are in my community, cause havoc, so that government will come and take my name and be paying me maybe 70,000 naira? So I think government at the federal, the state, and the local government should have a rethink. You are a manager, you are an administrator. Do things that will encourage patriotism. Bring up policies that will encourage the citizens to embark on the path of hard work and right thinking, and not the one that you are doing. Maybe you are encouraging them because you want them for political reasons. You are killing Nigeria. You are destroying rivers. You are destroying Delta. You are destroying all the local government. By these reasons or your actions that we are seeing every day, people will continually to be militant. Just imagine, brains are boiling now because you propose a stop to certain payment. What about? In fact, I'm really angry.
Your brain is boiling.
Your brain is boiling.
It's taking of what
Your brain is boiling. All right, Dr. C.A.J. Chiwo.
Well, we keep paying heavy price for the things we fail to do in normal time or in peacetime. That's what Nigeria will continue to face. Our leaders, when they thought they were deceiving Nigerians, they're beginning to realize that they also indeed themselves. The governance is becoming difficult now. A public speaker and teacher in Rivers State, or from Rivers State, Steve Ogan, said, when you fail to build people and you build infrastructure, the people you fail to build will destroy the infrastructure. Now that's what is happening in Nigeria. Our leaders forgot that the greatest resource we have is our manpower. They left our youth in all the communities, even the communities in urban areas. You feel for them when you're leaving the house. I remember the number of youths that are left behind. Then when you go further down into the hinterland, you weep for Nigeria. And what were our leaders thinking? When it's election, we use them. But today, they are realizing they can't go home. The leaders can't go home. You get home, you had 10,000 naira in your pocket, 100,000 naira in your pockets. Before the next day, it is finished because people are coming on you and some are coming in a menacing way. They will greet you without you paying them. So we must realize this. So that's what you see now. NIMC saying we are capturing this data. Why didn't they have this data of communities in Gamboru and all those places long before? They didn't. They left these communities. When it is maybe 1 month in a year, they say everybody should come to the headquarters to come and do data capturing. You go there. The one I did for the past 2-3 years, I have not gotten, not even the temporary card. They will report this and report that. So you find how these things are causing a big crisis. Now, when you register them in the for data capturing, where do you send them back to? You send them back to idleness, send them back to hunger, and send them back to being available. You sure the young men are not even afraid of being their image being cut off. What? Because life has become to them virtually nothing. We must begin to create a situation where life will have meaning for people in this country and they will make the right choices. Otherwise, you capture their data, you have all the data, but somebody look, what am I even living for? And he judges the next person that comes. So that's the problem.
Okay, so I mean, I think if we just marry the two stories together with the amnesty program here that is rumored to be wrapped up and Boko Haram that is being reintegrated, I think that if you look at the root of the problem, like we've mentioned here, it has always been how do these people, earn a meaningful life, or how do you keep them above that life of crime? I remember when this government came on board and they did the amnesty program for cultists and they went around and we had different people pouring out and
dropping their arms and giving up on the life of crime, so to say. And they were supposed to go to a camp. Our reporters followed them to the point where they were in the camp, and nothing happened in the
The
camp.
one at okay, where
Yeah,
Oxford
they
was,
stayed there for a bit, and nothing was happening, and everybody just found their way back
back.
to their
And
community
caused a lot of havoc.
and caused another set of havoc.
In the one in the chair.
Oh yes, the one in
Yes,
the
a lot
yes,
of havoc.
they did.
But people became hooligans. In fact, the soldiers, part of the soldiers who were there, turned into terrorism. Started dealing with people, pregnant people, and the blood is running in the chair now.
All right.
Because when
So
you
why
see,
that
when you see most
Hold
of
on,
these
not to
classes,
derail me. Thank you very much.
Not
Not to derail me. We seem to keep doing the same thing over and over and not
Expecting a good
learning.
result.
Yesterday, when we spoke about the killings in the north with the Anglo Abdullah here, and I said, well, it's something that the northern people must also wake up and understand. Their governors, their leaders in whatever form, and ask why to have young men in their hunt pour out and do whatever destructions we need to do. It doesn't say as if we even know that is a possibility that is around the corner, and therefore putting the right things now to fix that, or to at least mitigate the effects of that in the future.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Okay, let me start with Dr. CH. I'll come to you.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And that is actually, we sit down here, we look at America in particular, and we don't ask ourselves question: what have they been able to manage some of the situations? When you watch WWE, you see people who would have been fighters on the streets, or UFC, but for people about this country, everybody wouldn't be an engineer, everybody wouldn't be a doctor or a lawyer or another. But there are several things that we can provide that will remove our youth from crime. And we don't seem to think about it. When I see Rivers State government talking about Real Madrid Football Academy, good idea in the sense, but do you know that it could have done better? If the governor had encouraged sports entrepreneurs in these states who have ideas on what to do, it doesn't have to be only football. It doesn't have to, because with all respect to His Excellency, it is a discredit to Nigeria that they are running Real Madrid Academy. We don't have Rivers United Academy. But see, you could have done some of these things that will take youth off the field and make them part of our living. Is it boxing? Is it wrestling? Is it all kinds of things? And then you also, there are people who are going to provide the facilities they need. That's how you create employment. So, and we have a whole lot of youths who would have been available to do this. That's why I keep saying that our leaders should not think that we elected them because they know more than everybody. And they should not continue to have this idea that everybody under me must be those who think less than I do. So everybody who comes around you and says, can we do it this way? So he doesn't respect you. It doesn't help any nation. And only for Nigeria, that's what we have. You don't have people who are thinking and whose thoughts are being listened to or tried by government. Because you can't solve this problem all alone.
No.
You are, you're ensconced in government house or in president, if the facilities, who don't know what it means to a creative government thinking will be able to manage that. And when anybody has planted, and I'm going to market this thing, look, it's going to be difficult for you to tell him to join any crime. I fear for my own children and their own generation.
What's going to happen?
This issue of maybe bringing them in and say, has given the ultimatum.
The ultimatum. Yeah.
It's more or less the same. It's running on the same line, the same thread. Now, if, for instance, the northern youth, just like Amy was saying, that not only the brains that are boiling now, there may be brains that will boil more than. You see, these youths in the north, they have told these people, okay, these are bandits you are contending with on all forms of criminals. I think
it's not the government of Nigeria generally.
Generally, yes.
Don't have focus. Because if you want to have a program for people who are into banditry, you do a holistic approach. What does it include? It must also include 1 month, 2 months, 5 years, 20 years. And this will involve reorientation, value system. Most of the problems we have here today is because the value system is diverted. The thinking of what is value system is in a negative direction. Somebody is thinking that the only way to acquire wealth is to find the shortest means to get money. When you are supposed to be trained and have a long-term program, then maybe you get to a stage All you are thinking that, look, if I join banditry, if I'm into fat, nobody will